Good afternoon.
I don't think any of us expected to see you here, but it is nice to see you. Talk us through the what must have been a bit of a crazy process for you to get here and fight on Saturday.
I mean, it's not the first time, you know. And how crazy is it? Same location. So I think this has kind of been my whole career. It's been preparing me for moments like this. After my first ever professional fight, I couldn't get a fight for a long, long time. But you just had to stay in the gym and then hopefully get a fight on a couple weeks and jump in. And so this is what we do. Fighters fight.
Now, there is a difference, though, right? Last time you were champion, it felt like the card was on your back, and this guy came in to fight you. This time it's you coming in to fight a guy who everyone's saying is this unstoppable force. Is that part of the motivation? What exactly made you sort of go, yes, okay, I will do this again?
No, I think it's just the opportunity. You know, it's another opportunity to be able to test yourself. It's another opportunity to be able to elevate yourself. And it's part of being a man. It's part of living. You know, you have highs of highs and you have lows of lows. And living is being able to get up and get back on that horse and test yourself like that again. I mean, most people won't be able to guess what my favorite fight is that I've been in. Can anyone guess what that fight is?
I'll tell you guess that it's the first Masvidal fight just because of the situation.
No. It was the first Covington fight. And a lot of people would say that's the most challenging fight I've had. Obviously, my last two fights. But that fight was extremely challenging because it was just something primal about it. I didn't think about anything. I didn't worry about anything. I didn't care about anything. It was just me in there, just putting my heart and my soul into that fight. There was nothing that could have distracted me that night. And so when you get done with that fight, a fight like that, everyone was like, oh man, you got hit a lot. But it was the most fun fight I've ever had. And so I realized through soul searching, it's just that, hey, that's you only get a few of those moments to be able to experience something like that. So, you know, I want to experience it a couple more times before I walk away from this sport.
It's funny, you used the word there, primal. And I think we've seen how Hamzat fights, right? It seems to be on the gas the moment he comes out, and primal would be a good word to describe it. Is that what you're expecting when you get in there with him?
Yeah, I expect any and everything. You know, that's what you prepare for. That's what you train for each and every day. And so I'm expecting it. I expect him to come out and do whatever he wants to do and try whatever he wants to do. That's part of this sport. You know, we jockeying for position each and every inch, and you know, whoever's plan starts to unravel, and then the other guy's hand will be raised.
He was just in here, obviously asked about you, and he said that this is a fight that he's been hearing about since the moment he got to this promotion. And he said that he sees similarities in you, but I have to say, he also said that you're like the iPhone 5 version and he's the iPhone Pro version. He said you're the older case and he's the new guy coming on the block. Do you see this guy to be this threat that everyone says he is, or do you think, no, I've been around and I've seen this come and I've seen this go? What do you think about him and his terms of where he could go in this sport?
I think he's as advertised. He's very tough, you know, very strong. He's big. He can strike, he can wrestle, he can grapple. He can do it all. So can I. You know, so I think he's as advertised. But you don't know until you know. You know, ignorance is bliss sometimes, and I give him all the props in the world. He's done everything he needed to do with what he's been presented with. You know, but, you know, the iPhone Pro sometimes doesn't fit in certain pockets. You know, you might need just a regular iPhone. They both take good pictures, and they both work just fine.
I like that. If you win this fight, you're getting a title shot. And I believe I heard you this week saying you can take one title, go down and take your old title, and then just walk away into the sunset. Him and Islam both sort of suggested that you and Alex are coming here for the money, right? You're getting a big pay jump. But for you, what is the motivation to be here? Is it to show people you can do it? Is it to get money? Or is it to get that title back?
Do you think I have money?
I would say you've got a little bit of money, yeah, tucked away somewhere.
Okay. So, clearly ain't about the money. You know, and I asked for the fight.
You asked for the fight.
initially when he was at my weight.
Yeah.
But, you know, he's missed it, a couple of times now? I don't know how many times. And, you know, so it's one of those situations. I don't really care. It's just, honestly, when I think about it, it's soul-searching. It's wanting to get that opportunity, wanting to feel that again. Because if you really look at it, when I was sitting down waiting for a fight, what was everyone saying? Who's he going to fight? Like, we've seen him fight that guy twice, that guy 3 times. He's beat that guy. He's beat that one. Yeah. You know, people were kind of, what excites us about a fight? Are you excited about this fight? Think so.
Come on, Alex was in here, and he said it's kind of a blessing in disguise because he wasn't putting his body through hell for the 8-12 weeks, and he just gets to focus on himself and comes in, like, obviously he would prefer a full camp, but he is fresh in the head and kind of physically fresh. So I'm curious, do you feel the same way?
Absolutely. It's just something, it's such a weird switch that's flipped when you sign the contract. And so before that, you're just training. You'll be surprised. You go into some of these gyms and you'll see obviously you'll see a guy just having his way with other guys. Train. If it's a guy that's preparing for a fight, you're just kicking the shit out of him. You're just doing whatever you want with them. And then the moment you sign the fight, it's like, oh my God, nothing works. It's just a switch that goes off in your head. And so we didn't have to make that switch this time. We was in the gym just, doing what we do. This is our career. We're not just sitting at home and doing absolutely nothing. We're in the gym. We're learning. We're growing. And when the opportunity came, it took a little second to think about it. I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
And obviously the last few of your fights, especially the title fights, they've been big fights, but I feel like the buzz around you fighting Hamza just feels a little different than, rematching Leon or rematching Colby. So I'm curious, just compared to the build-up to those fights, do you feel like more fans are excited for this fight specifically than any of your recent ones?
You tell me.
I would say so.
Then why wouldn't I want to do it? Exactly.
I'm curious, do you think you'll feel like an actual middleweight in there or just a welterweight that's not cutting as much weight?
That doesn't make any difference. Since the beginning of my career, Henry, in our gym that when I started, he always said the same thing every day. It doesn't matter. Everybody spars everybody. It doesn't matter if you're big, you're small, you're skinny, you're fat, you're ugly, cute. Doesn't matter. Everybody spars everybody. I had to spar Anthony Johnson. I had to spar Anthony Johnson for a lot of my career and his career. So it doesn't matter.
And final one for me, obviously, if you do get past Hamza, Sean Strickland, the rematch that I don't think a lot of people know that you did fight him at welterweight so long ago. So I'm curious, back then, like you're pretty vocal that you saw something in Leon that you kind of assumed maybe you would see him down the road after your first fight. Was there any part of you that after you beat Sean the first time that maybe I would see Sean Strickland again down the road and would be in a UFC title fight?
I don't think of it like that. I think of it when I reflect. At that point, I was coming downhill fast. I didn't care who was in my way. And Leon was that, I didn't care. I took care of business. Sean was that, I didn't care, and I took care of business. And so I don't really, I don't really dwell on it. It's when I'm done and I sit back now and start to reflect a little bit more and more. Like you just mentioned, a lot of people didn't know that I fought Sean Strickland. So you can tell, I've been putting in work for a minute now. And so it's just kind of one of those things. Now I'm starting to be in a position to where you get to reflect and say, I did put some work in. Beat quite a few people here.
How do you think Sean has evolved since then? Obviously fighting up a different division now, but do you see many similarities in his game, or is he vastly different to you now?
Yeah, this is MMA. Styles make fights. Sean, I think he's definitely grown a lot, of course. But I think the most important thing is he's grown into his identity of a fighter. He accepts the fact that he fights this particular style, a particular way. And he's just leaned into it, and he's grown exponentially, and now he's the champion. But Styles make fights. I said it when I came into the game. I'm a nightmare for certain people to deal with, and I just think that that matchup, it's a nightmare for Sean Strickland. But he's grown exponentially. He's very, very improved.
When you look at the fight with Hamza, I mean, we haven't seen him face a ton of adversity. Probably the Gilbert fight was definitely moments that he had to fight back from. He said he learned from that and, won't be as wild and things like that. But when you watch that fight back, do you feel like there's things that maybe Gilbert didn't take advantage of that you would in a similar scenario?
I mean, we're different fighters. Gilbert Burns is a hell of a fighter, great fighter, but I'm a different fighter. So my fight IQ, the way I see certain things or just compute certain things in the fight are slightly different. So, it is what it is. And if Hamzat is the true contender and potential future star that I think he could be, then hopefully he learned from that. But we'll find out Saturday.
And in this fight, you will have Henry Hooft in your corner, as well as Trevor Whitman for the first time. How do you think that's going to manifest itself? What kind of confidence does it give you having those two voices behind you on a fight night?
Great confidence. I think, all through life, all through my career, now when I reflect, I'm like, I've always been blessed to be in front of men that pour into me in a certain way, that kind of help push me further in my journey of life. And to be able to stumble into the gym and have a Henry Hooft build the foundation, and then somehow run into Trevor Whitman and meet him to where, you could find a coach that could kind of fine-tune and hone into certain things. And to have both of them, they're very, very different in their approach, but they're both different approaches that speak to me and get me to react a certain way. So I'm thrilled. I'm excited. I want to see how it works because, sometimes I need a drill sergeant and sometimes I need a friend to talk to me. So we'll see how that goes. And
Francis Ngannou is fighting next weekend in Saudi Arabia. Are you going to go from here to there?
I'm trying to. We'll see. I try not to make too many plans. I did that once. It worked out actually. I had a GQ shoot right after New York, so I try not to make too many plans right after a fight because you never know what's going to happen. So, but of course, I would love to get out there and support Francis. Francis has been my brother since we both got into the UFC. I think our actual first official fight was in the same card in the UFC. So, yeah, I would love to support him. And there's a lot of people kind of doubting him, just like people doubt me and people doubt us. That's life. They doubt us each and every day. But, as long as you're blessed with 2 arms, 2 feet, and you can step in there, anything can happen.
And just last thing, if you win this fight, go on to rematch Sean Strickland, win that, there's a whole plethora of other guys, but just seems like Dricus du Plessis is the #1 contender, and you've had words about him in the past. Would that be a fight that you would relish?
Absolutely. I don't say no to fights, clearly. So 100% it could happen. I could also go down and take that belt back, so, you never know. I mean, what a way to go out, huh? Move up, grab that belt, go back down, grab that one too, throw up some fingers, walk away.
And you mentioned going down, last one from me. If Colby beats Leon, would that be kind of like a weird thing for you to compute, considering you've beaten him twice, and then what happened with Leon?
No. Like I just told you, the plans. Go grab this one real quick, keep it warm before Izzy come back, and go down and grab that one too.
Kamara, over here. Hi. You boast a 97% takedown defense rate. Do you think Hamza will be able to take you down, and how do you envision this fight going? Because sometimes 2 grapplers could neutralize each other, but we've seen you stand and trade too, and so we've seen him as well.
I don't know. Doesn't really matter to me. Some guys wrestle, some guys don't. I mean, I fought Colby Covington in the first fight. None of us took a shot. I fought Leon Edwards. He took a couple of shots. It's like, so it doesn't really check out. It doesn't matter. If he tries to take me down, good. If he doesn't, good.
And what do you think of his striking?
It's good. Very good. Good striking, good wrestling, good grappling. Good endurance so far. So it's all good. We'll see how it plays out on Saturday.
Just one more for me. Colby and Leon, a lot of people feel like Colby's wrestling could trouble Leon, a lot of pundits. You fought both guys. How do you see the fight playing out? And do you feel like Leon could stuff his takedowns?
That's an intriguing fight. That's a fight that I'm looking forward to, just because I'm a fan of high-level fighting, and I'm a fan of both guys. And so that's a fight that I'm definitely looking forward to. Kobe is, styles make fights, and MMA math doesn't really check out. So we'll see how that plays out. But, I think Leon's a bit underrated, and just kind of, he's a bit underrated. And Covington as well. I think his striking's a bit underrated too. So we'll see how that checks out for sure. I'll be excited.
Thank you.
Kamaru, your reign has been considered one of the greatest of all time. Now, coming off 2 losses, it's almost as though people have forgotten how good you are. How important is this fight to get yourself back into the conversation as the welterweight GOAT?
It's not that important. Getting in that conversation is not that important. I didn't do this to be in the conversation. I just did this because, one, I wanted to make money. And 2, I love to compete. I loved to compete, and it was just something that burned inside of me to where I always wanted to compete. Even though as scary as it is, even though as hot, didn't matter how high the mountain looked at the time, I just wanted to compete, to try to climb it. And so, it's crazy how quick people forget. You have 2 fights where, if you look at those fights, look at the second Edwards fight. Had I not, at that minute, that kick not landed with a minute left of the fight, we're not even having a conversation. And then the second fight, and that's considered, Leon's the best in the world right now, considered in my weight class. So, and look how close that fight was. So I think it's, people forget very quickly, but it is what it is. I'm not here to put myself in any conversation because for them to talk about, this is for me. This is me getting up there, and this is me putting my heart and soul back out there and figuring out what I really want.
Well, throughout your career, you're usually the overwhelming favourite going into a fight. How does it feel going into this fight as the underdog?
Never mattered to me whether you're the favorite or the underdog. Means no difference. I still have to get in there and, punch someone's face, and they're going to punch my face. So it never mattered. I think I've been underdogs before. In a Woodley fight, I was an underdog. So it makes no difference.
Well, best of luck.
Thank you. The main event, Islam versus Volkanovski. I think that is it's an intriguing fight. For Volkanovski, it's just, what a great way to just come in and, take another shot. It doesn't affect him in any way. You've already lost to him, so it doesn't, you're just getting another crack at it. Islam is big, strong. I think Islam, if he's a champion that I know he is, I think he took a lot away from that first fight and understood that, okay, maybe it's not as easy as I thought it was. Now we're going to, tweak a few things. I think Islam gets it done. I think he gets it done. But Volkanovski's no slouch. He has no neck for you to choke. The legs aren't super long for you to grab and take him down. So, he's just a perfect little, perfect soldier out there. Thank you, guys.
Hamza, obviously the last few camps we've seen you cutting down to welterweight. This is your first fight at middleweight. So how has camp been not having to cut all that extra weight?
First fight. I think a couple of fights. I think I have 4 fights. I did this weight class as well, before UFC as well, and in the UFC twice. So everyone thinking I'm the first time for me. It's not first time. Feels good, feels amazing, happy, So I'm not that guy just wants to cut 20 kilos and die, in the best. I just want to die in the cage if I die, like a warrior,
when we heard that Paulo Costa wasn't going to be able to fight, were you surprised, considering the previous fights that he had? He never ended up taking those fights either.
Actually, when I said to me I'm gonna fight this guy, I was always thinking about the guy can jump out, whatever. So because he had so many fights, he jumped out and he didn't make weight. And everyone speak about I didn't make weight, once in my life. And there was some plans to do that some way. It's not my plans, but I can't say everything here. And but everyone speak about my weight, not Paulo Costa's. I don't know how many times he missed weight.
So are you moved on from Paulo Costa in your fight career, or do you think you'll ever be booked with him again?
No, if he hold it on the top, of course gonna fight him. So I'm not here like to fight once, twice, at least I'm gonna be in 10 years, so minimum. So we'll see.
Were there any other names besides Kamaru Usman that they offered you?
What?
Did they offer anyone else besides Kamaru?
I don't know, man. So in the morning, my manager called me, you fight Usman. And I say, okay, let's go. For me, it doesn't matter. So when I heard and see the media, he's jumping out, he wasn't 100% sure. I write to Dana White, I said, brother, please give me someone I need to fight. And then my manager called me, I delete the message.
Did you always know that at some point you would be fighting Kamaru, considering he was the champion at welterweight, and even he said that you two would have fought eventually?
What?
Знал ли ты, что тебе придется драться с Камаро в какой-то момент, потому что он уже давно был чемпионом в полусреднем, и ты говорил, что ты придешь в полусредний и будешь драться?
If he has the belt, I should go down. But the guy don't have the belt, that's why he doesn't want to go down for 77, cut the weight for nothing. If it's gold there, of course I'm gonna cut the weight, but he couldn't take the belt, so that's why he asked who is that guy, and I'm Hamza Chimaev. That's why you come up and fighting with me, And the guy come for money, and the money fight is me.
Well, going off of that, it seems fans are more excited for your fight against Kamaru than they are for Paulo. So have you felt that now there's more interest in this fight than your previous fight?
Yeah, of course, because since day one I get to the UFC, everyone spoke about like Hamzat Usman, our wrestling skills and striking, all of these things, And Usman is like a fighter like me, but he's old version, I'm new, it's like different. Like iPhones come out, his iPhone's 5, I'm like pro, So different. So, yeah.
Hamza, right here. Obviously, the last fight you won very quickly, but that was a year ago. Why has it taken so long for you to fight again?
I don't know, man. Same question for you guys, for Dana White, for UFC. I can show them a lot of messages to these guys. Give me a fight. So, and I want to fight with the best guys, and they want to me put in somebody, who has the name. Not with the guys who's nobody. There are a lot of guys, young guys, new guys, and I want to fight Hamza. But they didn't did anything to fight with me. It's not fun to watch if I'm gonna smash somebody. Nobody knows. It's not gonna make money for UFC as well. That's why I think it's hold a long time.
Has it been frustrating because everyone got to know you because you were so active and you had that record of the closest wins, and now you're sitting on the sidelines for 13 months?
Yeah, anyway, it's like every week I have the fights twice in the gym. My sparring is not like a sparring, like a fight, when you spar with me, and we spar real, man. And people think I've been out long time, so I don't care, man. So if I've been 10 years out, I'm gonna be same Hamzat in the cage.
Is that what's maybe very exciting about this fight? Dana White said the winner will be getting a title shot against Sean Strickland, and if you become the champion, you know that you're going to be fighting because there's always going to be a contender.
Actually, I don't think about this fight right now. I just focus on Usman, but They promised me, like I said before, Gilbert Burns, if you win with this guy against this guy, I'm gonna fight for the title. And since then, 2 years ago, I fight again as well, but didn't get the title. So I don't know what's going on. So I'm not after I get just title. I'm going after all heads in the UFC. Yeah, smash somebody, make money, be happy, man. If I finish everyone, stop everyone, they has to give me all belts, so, yeah.
The fight people always thought was going to happen was you and Israel Adesanya for the title, but now Sean Strickland's the champion. What did you think of Strickland's win over Adesanya?
Actually, I was thinking about if Easy not knock him out, he gonna win, but it's happened. He couldn't knock him out first round. I was thinking if the guy just pressure him, Easy gonna get tired. Because all these guys, Easy fought, they play easy game. So Easy good on his game, and just doing technique. Don't need to care about just like Sean Strickland went in, like me, and straight in the punch and smash faces, So just need to drive in. And now everyone knows how to win against Easy, how to make him tired. And when I fought win this fight, then Sean Strickland, maybe somebody else, and after that, Easy will come as well. If he's young, he's still fresh, man. So we're gonna fight White Knight as well.
And what do you think of Sean Strickland? I know you guys have trained together in the past. Do you think that's a good matchup for you?
All match is good for me, man. He makes money.
And just finally on Kamaru, how do you think your wrestling matches up with him? He has the highest takedown defense in UFC history for someone who's been attempted 20 takedowns against them. That's how you qualify for the stat. What do you think of his wrestling?
It's American wrestling, brother. It's mountain wrestling, man. It's big different. So actually, guys, you remember like what Khabib did to Gaethje? And I seen some videos when Gaethje and Usman wrestling. They wrestle like 50-50 maybe. Maybe Usman became a bit heavier, a little bit better. But Khabib shows wrestling skills, our skills, So me, I'm actually, everyone knows almost same style in the wrestling. Me and Khabib, gonna be same shit, man.
Hamza. Actually, sorry, just one more. Just because you mentioned the American wrestling, Bo Nickel said he wanted this fight. He was hoping they would call him. He said your wrestling is trash and his American wrestling would beat yours. Is that a fight you think will happen one day between you and Bo?
Man, the guy think big bullshit, this guy, man. I don't know what he's saying. He's not wrestling for the points, man. Here, we don't play wrestling. He's fighting, man. I don't care. Somebody takes me down. I'm gonna come up and smash his face, man. I don't think so. This guy gonna come to the cage and come and take me down, It's not wrestling. We don't stay like wrestlers, man, with this wrestling shit close, man.
Hamza, Salam, just one from me. Is welterweight behind you? Do you think you would ever go back to welterweight, or is middleweight your future?
Yeah, of course, for the gold. I told long time. I tried to get that title here in Abu Dhabi, but Leon didn't say anything. And yeah, if they give me the gold there, of course I'm gonna go take my history, So I'm at least out from 3 divisions, so still focused on that. Yeah, of course it's hard for me, gonna be hard for me. Don't make me die. I'm gonna do that.
And Leon is going to fight Colby. Who do you think wins that fight?
I think Leon gonna win the fight.
Thank you.
Hamza, you've previously been quoted saying in the octagon that you'll kill everybody. Do you want to just clarify what you meant by that and how that relates to your fight with Kamaru Usman?
No, what, brother?
Ты раньше говорил в октагоне, что ты готов всех просто размазать, убить. Что это означает и насколько это относится именно к Узману?
For everyone, man. If somebody fights me, if you, it doesn't matter. Your cousin and he's Usman's cousin. Doesn't matter for me in the cage. I come here to kill everybody, man.
I don't want to fight you, but also Paulo Costa, his elbow injury looks very serious. I don't know if you've seen the reports that it's quite worse than what was originally thought. Have you had a chance to see his elbow?
Yeah, I seen. And his wife putting everyone his pictures. His wife doing everything for him. His media, everything. Some guys sent to me. His wife put up this, and he's had some problems with his elbow. I hope he's gonna get good, man. And the guy just tried to make money, but he lost his chance. He went home out money, you know. So, of course, when somebody gets surgery, it's not good, man. Anyway, if he could come to the cage, it will be more bad for him. So I could hurt him more.
He got off easy.
Салам алейкум, Хамзат. Магомед Анкалаев в интервью мне рассказывал, что Шона Стрикленда тяжело удержать на земле. Ты же работал с Шоном в Америке, так ли это?
Magomed Ankalaev told me in an interview that Sean Strickland is really hard to keep on the ground after a takedown. You worked with Strickland before. Do you agree with that, the assessment that it's really hard to keep him down?
Не знаю, я держал его, я душил его, бил его, все. Он хороший боец, средний, знаешь, не знаю, ну, духовитый парень. Камбой какой-то, знаешь, как из фильма. Так, если технически сравнивать нас, я на другом уровне. И в борьбе, и в грэпплинге, и в стойке. Так, сам он боец, реальный боец. Не будет там сидеть, просто ждать. Будет вперед, как я. Хочу подраться с любым. Хочу с Шоном Стриклендом тоже подраться. Хотя мы тренировались, у нас нет таких непривязанностей, каких-то драк, ничего не было. В зале тренировались, спарринги делали. Вроде нормальный чувак. Ну, деньги заработают, с ней любым поделюсь.
You know, I mean, I've taken him down, I've held him down, I've choked him, I've punched him. I mean, I've done all those things, so I don't see anything, you know, something special about him. Basically, he's a fighter's fighter. He's a good fighter. You know, if you look at him, he's like a, you know, an American cowboy, like from the movies. That's the kind of guy he is. But you know, we've done our work in the gym together. And if they offer him to me, if I can fight him for the belt, that's what I'll do. You know, I make the money, get the belt. I have nothing against him. I think that if you compare us on the skill levels wise, I'm levels above him. I'm in a whole different stratosphere from him. So, you know, he's not a threat to me. But you know, he's a good guy. He's a good fighter. And if I can, I'd fight anybody. I'd ready to fight anyone. So if there's a belt there, I'll fight him, no problem. Even Strickland.
Чем завершится твоя возможная встреча с Пауло Костой на острове Яс? Да, чем завершится встреча? Я знаю, ну, я спрашиваю, учитывая, что...
If Paulo Costa was here, what would be the end of your fight together? What would be the result of you fighting Paulo Costa here on Yas Island?
На русском?
Про встречу не бой. Если встречу на острове Яс.
Oh, if you just see him, not a fight, but if you see him on Island Yas, Paulo Costa, what would happen?
I could see him many times. My guys was around him, you know. He gets stressed. Maybe that's why he gets more infection in his elbow. And my older brother here, he said to me when he says anything, I can't do something, you know, against him. He said, don't punch him before the fight or after the fight. It's not our style. And he's alone with his team, and we here 100 guys, you know, this will be bad. If me, only him, and we meet somewhere, like, would be different. And when I come with a lot of guys behind me and one guy just stand there and he gets stressed, you know, for our people. I'm the man who always fought like 1-1. And sometimes a lot of people jump on me, but I fight still. Should be fighting against again 1-1. And still he was surgery, hurting, and if I beat him outside as well, he gonna find the excuses with his elbow.
У нас было много возможностей встретиться, это не так, что я не могу его найти, то есть возможности были, я думаю, что причина, почему у него развилась инфекция в локте, потому что он так сильно нервничает, что он на меня наткнется, что у него инфекция еще хуже стала. Вот. Но в принципе мне старший брат сказал, не трогай его, что мы так не делаем, мы не в клетке, если мы не в клетке, его трогать не нужно. А вообще, что он может сделать? Я приехал сюда, за мной целая команда, здесь много ребят со мной, поэтому понятное дело, что мы можем их размазать. В принципе, я не привык к этому, я знаю, что биться нужно 1 на 1. Я много драк выиграл 1 на 1. Были моменты, когда были много людей против меня, я один должен был себя защищать. Но, в принципе, если мы будем драться 1 на 1, понятное дело, что будет.
А правда то, что ты отправлял личные сообщения будущей жене Пауло Косты?
Is it true that you send personal messages to his future wife?
No, she's writing to me. She deleted the message. She write to me, please, Hamza, don't take it like serious and like he wants to make money. And she delete that. And I just send a picture to her and the funny picture to just have fun. And I don't know against anything his wife. You know, she write to me like it's not personally and don't take it. We try to make money and yeah, but I send a picture and I told her. People don't make money that way, you know. You have to be a man. Anyway, jokes, I understand. Trash talk, but it has to be on one line, you know. So don't jump over on this shit, you know.
Она просто написала мне, что она мне сама написала, говорит, пожалуйста, не принимай это близко к сердцу, мы просто это все делаем для того, чтобы заработать денег. Ну и тогда я послал ей эту фотографию и все, и просто сказал, что ну вот тебе фотография. Она просто сама написала мне, сказала, пожалуйста, не принимай это близко к сердцу. Но я понимаю, что такое говорить, чтобы развить интерес к бою, я все это понимаю, но должна быть какая-то черта. Если ты какие-то вещи говоришь, ты должен за свои слова отвечать. Поэтому если ты просто шутишь и пытаешься заработать деньги, то знай, когда остановиться.
Хамзат, приветствую. Я недавно записывал интервью с Мухаммадом Берхамовым и Саидом Сапаровым. Это тренер и боец зала Килл-Клифф. Это люди, которые тиммейты Камару Усмана. И вот они оба не верят совсем в Камару Усмана. А у тебя есть какое-то разочарование, что Камару вот выходит там, на коротком уведомлении, то есть не на своей какой-то пиковой форме, и вот по сути в него никто не верит, и все верят в тебя?
I did an interview recently with the coaches from the Killcliff gym, and they specifically do not believe that Kamaru Usman has a chance. Do you think that him coming out only 10-day notice is making his chances even less? What do you think about his chances?
The guy come just to make money, you know. So a lot of money putting on that. I think he gets a lot of good money. When somebody fight me, you know, it's different level money, you know. So that's why he's here. I don't think so. Of course he comes for win. Everyone comes for the fight to win, and he has already excuses. He get paid, you know. So I think that's why he comes, you know. Everyone here, a lot of guys talks about my history, my this, bad, this shit, you know. When somebody put the money, you know, our millions. So one day everyone will forget about that, man. Thinking guy's gonna have his money for his family. That's why everyone here, I think.
Ну, понятное дело, что мужик просто выходит, чтобы заработать деньги. Это понятно, что когда ты дерешься со мной, другие деньги на кону, поэтому он пришел просто заработать. Да, понятно, что он выходит за победой, мы все выходим за победой, но по-настоящему, если поговорить, то это просто про деньги. Когда-нибудь все эти разговоры про деньги, они забудутся, и люди поймут, что нужно сражаться за что-то другое, но в принципе он просто пришел заработать.
Сейчас с тобой зашли в зал Расул Басханов и Абдурахман Дудаев. Это ребята, которые с тобой, я так понимаю, присутствуют, но они выступают на легчайшей весовой категории. Они просто тебя как-то морально поддерживают или как-то, может, тебе помогают в этом процессе?
The couple of guys that you have with you, the fighters, they're in a lightweight and featherweight, so they're small. Are they here with you just to help you out? They're kind of like your moral support, or these are the guys that you actually train with?
И еще вот тоже в завершении, кто будет в углу именно у тебя, кто-то из них?
And just to add, do you have any of those guys in your corner with you or not?
No, just the guys is my best brothers and my close brothers. We know each other a long time, so we did train wrestling a long time. And when I was on the UFC, I was a fighter, and they met me, and Rasul helped me with a lot of things before I get somebody, and Rahman being close to me. The guys, my brothers, and they're a little bit older than me. They've been a long time in the fighting game. It's good to have them close. It's not, yeah, we're training together, but different weight classes. The guys has experience and with fighting, so it's good to have them. You don't need the weight classes. I have my weight class, Yakub, is 5-0, young guy, so in ACA, fighting ACA in Russia. A lot of talent guys being in this camp, fresh, young, and who wants to be fighter, No, I didn't bring anyone who was like old, who wants to just be in training. I want the guys who wants to win, so young, hungry, all these guys that was with me in my camp. These my brothers, from Chechnya, so I love them, that's why they're close to me.
Эти ребята мои братья, я долго их знаю, мы долгое время тренируемся, еще до того, как я был в UFC, мы друг друга знали. Эти ребята чуть постарше, у них есть очень много опыта, мы